Welcome to new Neo Storybook channel. The power of communication. Mastering the art of communication. Once upon a time, there was a small yet thriving town named Crestville, where businesses were rapidly growing. Crestville was a place of opportunity, with people from all walks of life establishing new ventures, eager to find success. Among the ambitious crowd was a man named Daniel, a well-known mentor and business strategist. His reputation was built on one core belief that he held above all else: the key to any successful business is mastering the art of communication. Daniel had mentored hundreds of entrepreneurs in Crestville, but despite the town's many success stories, there were still plenty of businesses that struggled. One day, he decided to hold a seminar titled, "Mastering the Art of Communication, the Key to Business Success." Hundreds of people gathered, eager to hear his wisdom, but none more eager than three young entrepreneurs who had just started their own ventures: Sarah, Adam, and Jake. As the three sat in the front row, Daniel began speaking, his voice calm but filled with purpose. "Before we dive into strategies, let me ask you all one question," he started. "What do you think is the most important skill in running a business?" A few hands went up. "Leadership," one person shouted. "Financial management," said another. "Innovation," chimed in someone else. Daniel nodded and smiled. "Those are all important, no doubt. But there's one skill that encompasses all of those things, one that can make or break your business. It's communication." He paused, letting his words sink in. Now, you might be thinking, well, communication is just talking, right? Explaining things clearly? Yes, in a way. But I'm not just talking about words. I'm talking about how we build trust, how we negotiate, how we inspire, and how we listen. You see, communication isn't just about conveying a message, it's about building relationships and creating impact. Sarah, Adam, and Jake exchanged glances, intrigued. They had always thought of communication as just another part of business, not as the essential skill. Daniel seemed to be turning their understanding upside down, and they were eager to learn more. Daniel continued, "Let me tell you a story about a man named Charles, who owned a bakery right here in Crestville. His pastries were some of the best in town, but despite his talent, his business wasn't doing well. He couldn't understand why. After all, his products were excellent. But the problem wasn't the quality of his pastries. The problem was the way he communicated with his customers and his team." Everyone in the room leaned forward, captivated. Charles was a man of few words. When customers came into his bakery, he would give them their orders with a smile but never engaged in conversation. When his team had issues or suggestions, he dismissed them, thinking he knew best. He thought his skills in baking were enough to run a successful business. But he didn't realize that his business wasn't about him, it was about the people he served and worked with. He needed to listen, understand, and communicate with them if he wanted to succeed. Daniel then looked directly at Sarah, Adam, and Jake. What Charles was missing, and what many entrepreneurs miss, is that communication is the foundation of connection. It's the bridge between your vision and your team's effort. It's the bond between your product and your customer. If you don't master it, you can never reach the full potential of your business. The three of them nodded, absorbing his words. Daniel could tell they were ready to learn the deeper elements of what he was saying, so he delved further. 1. The power of listening. One of the greatest mistakes people make when communicating, Daniel said, is thinking that it's about talking. The truth is, communication starts with listening. And I don't mean listening just to respond, I mean listening to understand. If you truly understand what your customers, employees, or partners are saying, you'll know how to meet their needs more effectively. He told the audience about a time when he worked with a tech company struggling with high employee turnover. The executives were baffled, offering higher salaries, better benefits, and even more vacation time, yet people kept leaving. Daniel came in and simply sat down with the employees, asking them to share their experiences. It wasn't about the money, Daniel explained. It was about feeling unheard. The employees felt like their voices didn't matter. They had ideas and concerns, but no one ever took the time to listen. When the leadership began truly listening, they realized they needed to create more collaborative opportunities. The company culture transformed, and so did their retention rate. 2. Building trust through honesty. Daniel then moved on to another key element of communication, trust. Every business relationship, he said, is built on trust, and trust is established through honest communication. If you're not transparent with your customers or your team, you risk losing credibility. People can tell when you're not being genuine, and once you lose their trust, it's nearly impossible to get it back. He shared a story about Sarah, a young entrepreneur who had launched a boutique clothing line. Her designs were beautiful, and her marketing was spot on, but there was one issue: delays in production. Instead of being upfront with her customers, Sarah tried to hide the problem, giving vague answers when asked about delivery times. Customers grew frustrated, and her reputation suffered. When I started working with Sarah, Daniel continued, I advised her to be honest. If there were delays, she needed to communicate them openly and offer solutions. She did, and though some customers were initially disappointed, they appreciated her honesty. Over time, Sarah regained their trust, and her business grew even stronger. 3. Inspiring action with words. Daniel paused for a moment, letting the room settle before he spoke again. Great leaders don't just tell people what to do. They inspire action. Whether it's through speeches, emails, or even casual conversations, your words should motivate and energize those around you. He turned to the screen behind him and displayed a quote from one of the world's most respected leaders, Nelson Mandela. It is through education that the daughter of a peasant can become a doctor, that the son of a mine worker can become the head of the mine, that a child of farm workers can become the president of a great nation. Daniel smiled as he read it aloud. Mandela didn't just inform people, he moved them. He spoke with purpose, passion, and vision. And that's what we need to do in our businesses. Whether you're talking to investors, employees, or customers, you need to inspire them to believe in your mission. 4. Navigating conflict. Of course, Daniel didn't shy away from the challenges of communication. Not every conversation is going to be easy, he warned. Sometimes, you'll have to navigate difficult situations, whether it's a disagreement with a business partner or addressing a customer's complaint. The room was silent as Daniel shared an example of a partnership dispute he had once mediated. Both sides were angry, frustrated, and ready to walk away. But through open, respectful communication, they found common ground. Instead of attacking each other's ideas, they learned to express their concerns and listen to each other's perspectives. That's how you resolve conflicts, not by avoiding them, but by communicating through them. 5. Continuous improvement. Finally, Daniel stressed that communication was an ongoing process. You never truly master communication, he said. It's something you continually refine and improve. Great communicators are always learning, always adapting, and always looking for ways to connect more deeply with others. By the time Daniel finished speaking, the room was filled with energy. The 3 young entrepreneurs, Sarah, Adam, and Jake, felt inspired, ready to apply these lessons to their own businesses. They now understood that mastering the art of communication wasn't just a tool for success, it was the foundation of everything they aimed to achieve. As Daniel wrapped up the seminar, he left the audience with one final thought: your words are your most powerful asset. Use them wisely. Build trust, inspire action, resolve conflicts, and, most importantly, always listen. If you master the art of communication, you will master the art of business. The moral of the story is: mastering communication is not just about speaking clearly or getting a message across, it's about building trust, inspiring action, and creating lasting connections. In business, communication is the bridge that transforms vision into reality, relationships into partnerships, and ideas into success. If you'd like to hear more captivating stories and content, make sure to subscribe to New Neo Storybook channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss your favorite stories. Your support means the world, and it helps me continue creating content that you love. I hope you enjoyed this beautiful take on the timeless tale. Your feedback is incredibly important to us. Let me know your good thoughts in the comments below.